Today is the day of the Piscean full moon, and it is on this day when the pure high energies of the cosmos come to us on planet Earth, and it's the time when we lift our vehicles, our physical, emotional and mental vehicles up into our spiritual body and receive the pure energies of the cosmos. These are the studies of Alice Baliley in her blue books, and prior to that Helena Blavatsky in her Secret Doctrine books. And they're very old studies based on the Ageless Wisdom. The Alice Baliley books, she channeled Dwal Kul and one of the Ascended Masters, and at the full moon time we are really shown in these teachings that our physical, emotional and mental bodies can be really affected by the full moon. And when these physical, emotional, mental aspects of us receive that really high stimulation, it can upset our mental equilibrium, and we can show signs of imbalance at the full moon time, because the incoming overflowing spiritual energies create excessive energy in the physical, emotional, mental bodies, and it can really throw us off balance. Sometimes when the heavens are full of black clouds, suddenly a window of blue sky can appear and the rays of the sun beam through down to earth. And it's said that exactly the same thing happens at the time of the full moons. A spiritual window opens between humanity, the hierarchy and Shambhala, and a river of light and love and power streams forth, charged with divine impressions. So at the time of this full moon and every full moon, we have the opportunity to open the chalice of our hearts to the spirit of invocation, so that the incoming energies pour into our being with their transmuting and transforming, transfiguring effects. So today, when the sun is in Pisces, we have the opportunity of bringing in those divine energies, and we're focusing on the Ageless Wisdom philosophy of where the sun is in the full moon, rather than where the moon, which in this instance is in Virgo, but our focus is on the actual sun, because we're following the zodiacal cycles. So in Pisces we become aware that we are two parts, and this is depicted by two fish, a smaller one and a larger one. And the smaller one is our personality, our physical, emotional and mental being. The larger fish is our higher self. They're both connected by the silver cord that goes through them into the cosmos. And we are often in our personality. Once we start our spiritual growth, the personality, the little fish, becomes smaller and smaller, and the big fish, and this is symbolically speaking, becomes larger and larger and eventually swallows the smaller fish, so that the physical, emotional and mental aspects of ourselves radiate light and love and the power of the inner self through our emotions, our activities and all of our thoughts. Radiates out, and we become like a beacon of light, a beam of light, who through all of our actions in the world we manifest this light. Might even just be through a smile or a touch or a gentle little conversation, but our world is changed once we move into the higher realms. Personality is our vehicle of expression, It becomes how we express ourselves, our higher self, into the world. So we need the personality, the physical, emotional, mental, otherwise we'd be angels or guides or beings of light not on the planet. So this physical vehicle is incredibly important, but we want to purify each level of it, physical, emotional, mental, so that we resonate and vibrate at a higher and higher frequency. And then when we have these new moon and full moon celebrations, we can draw in higher and higher energies. In Pisces, one of the major lessons we learn at this time is the key of detachment. And that means to detach from our blind urges and drives, the emotional traps we get caught in, the mental crystallizations, and just being interested in ourselves. We become more world-focused and benevolent and wanting to offer our love and support out into our world. Once we start to detach, and that is our key word for this month, we start to bring in the opportunity for our soul to blossom. And detachment really is the opposite to physical attachment, which is habits, emotional attachments which lead to hang-ups, mental attachments which lead to fanaticism and stuckness. And these phenomena are really forms of where we've solidified our forces and energy in our aura, and we think that's all there is. We get stuck in our belief system, and the data that's builds up in our mind, we can't see beyond it. We think that that is all that there is. But once we start to go into our spiritual growth and we start to expand out, and just for a moment feel yourself expanding right out. Once you reach out into the nebulous energies of Pisces, it is a really fine vibration of endings and new beginnings. And once you reach out into that, you realize that there is much, much more to life than the things that we have been taught and the conditions that we've put into our own minds. And you can just start to expand, and then your spiritual sphere grows and you become a shining light, helping others to find their way. This is the basic philosophy of the Piscean Alice Baliley teachings. Pisces channels 6th ray and 2nd ray energies into our soul. And right now, today, these beautiful energies that are coming to us give us patience, endurance, faithfulness, and serenity. That's the energies of the 2nd ray that are at their zenith today, and the 6th ray of devotion, single-mindedness, to go toward that point of our spiritual growth, tenderness and intuition. When we're still getting onto the path, the lower side of the 2nd ray, we can come across as cold, we can come across as indifferent to others, and we can have an over-absorption in ourselves and in study. And what that means is some people are eternal students and they can take in, but actually never give out. And it's the point where what we've taken in, we express out, that our real growth can begin, because we are that beacon of light that serves and supports all of life. The lower energies of the sixth ray are selfish and jealous love, an over-dependence on others, and partiality, meaning we have to find a way to become impartial and neutral. And when we look around, we have to find out where we are over-dependent on others, or where we have let others become over-dependent on us. And these are the lower sides of the rays that we work on during the full moon, after the full moon, and work toward the higher: patience, endurance, faithfulness, serenity, a serene temper, devotion, single-mindedness, tenderness, and intuition. Pisces is also endings, getting ready for a new 12-month cycle in Aries, so it's endings and new beginnings. So right now, today, perhaps get a little piece of paper and just write down what needs to end in your life. It may be where you've become overgiving, too needy, so many things. Just have a little look and see what you may want to elevate into your next stage. And I just look forward to seeing you and chatting again next month, because I'm really enjoying getting back into the Ageless Wisdom, which I haven't studied and worked with for quite some years. But these teachings go back to my studies in 1985, when under the facilitation of Diane McCann, we started our Adelaide Mystery School and brought our facilitator in from overseas each month to work with us. And all these years later, it's really lovely to be sharing in this perhaps difficult time that we're living in some real footnotes and keynotes of how we can start to raise our energy and focus on some really simple things to become that beacon of light and love and power that we know we are, because it is in each one of us. Go well until we chat again. Namaste.